Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much for spending your precious time hanging out with this reading as we go through the book of the Nazarene, the book of Khalidi, which is the last book in Yah Scriptures. And it is now, I guess on the Gregorian calendar, we're at a Thursday already. So for those who are trucking through this week, making it to the Shabbat, I would love to remind everybody that the very first command that all of us can easily keep every single week is this Shabbat. This is the command that we have been given to rest every seventh day. And when we rest on the seventh day, we are told not to cook and not to cling and not to make anybody that we have working for us do anything of that. It is a day to rest and a day to get into tune with our Creator. And he has said it from the beginning of the book all the way to the very end of the book. And every week we have this amazing appointed time. And the first thing that most people, when they get into Torah, learn about is the Shabbat. And it makes a tremendous amount of sense. And I have been a Shabbat keeper now, I don't know, it's like 10 years. I mean, it's a decade. It's got to be a long time. And it is one of those times that in the course of that decade or so, every time that we have had some horrible thing that a Shabbat was completely missed or something happened, some emergency that we could not contain or could not help but breaking the Shabbat and going about doing something, the next day, the week, is never the same. You lose the pep in your step. On first day, which is a Sunday, when everybody's dressing up and going to their man-made church that is in some weird doctrine that says they should worship on the first day. Well, that's that is completely, without a shadow of a doubt, not in Scriptures. The keeping of any form of a outside work of the Torah is absolutely not what we should be doing. So as we are learning about Shabbat, as we are learning about keeping the appointed times of our Creator and keeping the Torah, it's a learning process. And every single one of us have to adjust ourselves and adjust our lifestyle. And when I have been unfortunate enough not to have a Shabbat and my week is completely upside down, you get the understanding that the Sabbath day was really a blessing for man. When you see a human being, and I had all the experience of 30 years prior that I didn't keep a Shabbat, and 30 plus years of not keeping a Shabbat, working 24/7. We were just grinders, big North American, Babylonian grinders, businesses, this and that. And you can do it, and you make money, and you have a lot more time and a lot more money to get things done. But at the end of the day, your body suffers, your spiritual health suffers, and the opportunity that all of us have on that Sabbath day is to get into alignment with our Creator, get into understanding of how He lives, how He operates, how He wants us to live, how He wants us to operate, and dial that in. It's the perfect time to read Scriptures. It's the perfect time to spend time with family. It's the perfect time to eat some crock pot meals and just really have a good time. So for those of you out there who have never ever heard of commandment keeping, or this is the first time that you ever bump into a video like this, commandment keeping is as simple as reading, understanding, and applying to your life. And what are we reading and understanding? Well, the foundation that all of us need to have before we move out of these first books, and the books that we need to read are Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. They need to be a core group of scrolls that are in our life, on our minds, on our hearts. And I encourage anybody that has not read them at least 5 times slowly to go back through them and read them 5 times slowly until you make it to the days of Joshua. Just keep rolling over and over and over. And then you are actually structured enough with the foundational basis of the Torah that you shouldn't be deceived in anything that you read. As you read through the rest of the scriptures, you will see that from the days of Moses and beyond, the people were supposed to be keeping that same Torah in the days of Moses, but nobody ever did. All the way up until our generation right now, where we are still supposed to be keeping the laws of Moses. And it's not the laws of Moses, guys. It's the laws of Yahuwah, delivered to us by the hand of Moshe. And so people get that completely twisted up. It's the laws. It's the way of our foundational structure. So, guys, I encourage all of you guys to read your scriptures, to be part of Yah's kingdom, and to understand them. And Yah Scriptures, right before you, is available right now, still available. And you guys can see the description in the link is in the description below for wherever you find this, on whatever platform you guys are finding this on. And here we are. This is our Messiah walking through the world with his people. People are questioning him all over. What's going on? How does this work? What do you think about this? And again, this is very important to understand this, because Messiah gives us the complete understanding of all things. He was with his dad when his dad created the Torah, when his dad, I don't know if he's with him when he created the Torah. That I don't know. But I do know that he was before our creation was ever created, that the Torah existed. And so I would imagine it was throughout the lifetime of our Messiah, or documented or something. But our Messiah knows his dad's wishes, his dad's ways, and excuse me, and all the ways he wants us to operate. And so these are good things to hear and listen to. So here we are, 39. One of the women, not yet a disciple, Talmud, approached the place where Yahushua sat and said, I have been harshly treated by the Torah concerning a daughter's inheritance. How do you interpret it? And for those who do not know, there is a set of rules and regulations for daughters when it comes to inheritance. And there was specifically one time in the days of Moses when there were some gals that didn't have the man within the Torah where things were falling to, and they wanted a piece of land. And so they went and petitioned Moshe. Moshe went and talked to Yah. And there were amends made for this. But something has happened right here where this gal feels like whoever was interpreting the Torah ripped her off. Okay? This is where Messiah says this. Yahushua said, I interpret all laws with mercy and compassion. Great words. I love that. But justice must not be put aside in their favor. Huge stuff, okay? Justice must not be put aside for mercy and compassion. Big stuff. It is written that if a man dies without fathering a son, his inheritance shall become the daughter's, but his wife shall not be deprived of her portion. Yet when there are sons, a daughter is not deprived of her portion. Therefore the inheritance should be divided equally among sons and daughters. So there is an amazing interpretation. Like, this is why you need Messiah Yahushua to be governing us, right? This is why when we can't figure it out amongst ourselves, and we actually have our Messiah in and around us, we can go and get these answers. We can go and ask Moshe. We can go ask these guys that know the Torah better than we do, because they were closer to the source and the original. So what Messiah said was incredible, right? And hopefully, it equals things out. Everything was made good. Continuing on, all women should have a rightful portion at marriage, but it would be unseemly for any woman to contend with her kinsman for it. No woman should ever seek a husband because of what she may gain from such a marriage, for this makes her a deceiver, denying him the joy of love. No woman should ever snare a man into lust or seek a husband so she can leave her father's house, for this is a wrong against the husband. All right, women, ladies, this is absolutely portioned and put to you out there. And, since we know a lot of you guys out there, we know a lot of those of you who've been crushed in relationships, who have just found bad relationship after bad relationship after bad relationship, and it's been a lot of trauma. It has been a lot of abuse. It's been a lot of horrible stuff. And, for you guys out there, I wish I could give you guys a huge hug. I wish there was a virtual way that I could literally make this happen right now, because you guys all have a big hug from all of us here at Boss Clan. All of us, we love you guys, and we every time you guys pour your hearts out to us, we appreciate it, and we talk about it a lot. We pray for you guys, and we know that relationships are very, very hard. Messiah gives us some very, very, very wise stuff right here, right? Number one is, ladies, Messiah says that this needs to be a marriage of the heart, a marriage of love. Because you love your man, not because you love what your man has, is the kind of thing, right? Because what a lot of us, and especially those of us who've been through ups and downs, and as Nicole and I have been, I think, married for like 25 years, and like 27 we've been together. We've had ups and downs. Like we've had over $1 million in our bank account, and we've also been on welfare. And so that has been one of these things where we're out there building businesses, doing very risky things to as small potatoes. And a lot of times it gets very, very risky. A lot of times it gets very, very hard. And so if our marriage had been based upon contentment, then it would have been bust a long time ago, because there were many, many, many times that we had house payments late. We had issues. We had the problems of the world that were stacking up upon us. And it's one of these things that it wasn't easy. And that absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, is tough on a marriage, right? Finances, it's easy to find a lot of room to fight when it comes down to finances, because it's just like, it's so daunting. It is such a plague upon humanity, of us being sucked and locked into these bills and this kind of system that we're in. And it was never meant to be, right? We were never ever to be enslaved by the man. We were never ever supposed to be, enslaved to paying house payments for 30 years and never ever being able to own a house, right? It's another form of slavery. So, guys, gals, don't grab your men because they have nice cars, because those cars will break down, and hopefully your love never will, and his love for you never will as well. And so it's, and you guys, that's the thing is if you're looking for that kind of wealth, and that wealth doesn't please you, and your husband doesn't please you, then you can't find that connection and that bond. And you, in a marriage, you absolutely, without a shadow of doubt, have to have common ground. You're not going to always have common ground on everything, but there has to be at the core center of you common ground, which is why a Torah-less family doesn't have the common ground, because you don't have a rule set, a governing rule set that is before all of us and all humanity and all mankind, that filters and trickles down to our family. And so all of us as humans have a fundamental capacity and should be under the rule of the Torah. And if we're not, then we are weaker, and we are more susceptible to soul decay and detriment. And if you're never ever able to be woken up and pulled out of the matrix of this fake reality of religion, then you'll be damned for all eternity. Now, let's finish off here with this particular section. No woman should ever snare a man into lust or seek a husband so she can leave her father's house, right? And I know a lot of you gals out there, I know a lot of you guys are at your mother's houses and your father's houses. Things haven't worked out, you're back, it just doesn't look like it's right. Be patient, right? The number one thing in any one of these relationships is, if when you ask that new person what their favorite Torah command is and why, if they get a blank look, if they don't know what it is, if it's something that's very foreign to them, that's your red alert, right? That's not somebody that you want to be governing your life. He may be handsome, he may be rich, he may be all these things, but he is going to be lawless, and he's not going to understand true Torah-based law, which is, being very pure to your marriage, being very holy, being a one man, one woman marriage. These are all things that when you understand the Creator's ways and how the Creator wants us to operate, and that not only are you blasting off with a moment of lust, but you're committing adultery for all time, and you're making your spouse an adulterer, and it's a mess. It's all a mess, and there's nothing worse in any marriage than betraying the marriage bed and looking out over the field, lusting for something that's there. Guys and gals, keep the plants that you have at home watered. Keep the land together. Keep the people together, right? You had common ground at one point, enough to see where you guys are. Is it not worth the effort to try to keep this together? Guys, read your scriptures together. Fire in the scriptures. Even if your spouse is resistant to it, before you guys go to bed, put a chapter of Torah together as a family. Pray together. Pray as a family, and eventually things will come around, right? That's the thing about the Torah. The Torah is so alpha that when any man of any caliber gets into the Torah, we realize this is the truth. This is dominating. This is the stuff that's absolutely savage and worthy of keeping, because this is what keeps families alive. Keeps us with the understanding of what roadkill is and what roadkill isn't. And roadkill isn't food for us. Neither's pig or lobster or any of these other trash that everybody has everybody eating, right? Red Lobster, right? What is that? Popeyes, where they have all the pus pockets. You can dip your pus pockets in all the nasty stuff. It's a mess. Okay, let's continue on, guys. How deep in the weeds are we? All right, we're doing good. We're doing good. For anybody that's made it this far, much love, huge hugs. Thank you again for hanging out with me as we go through this and we just chat it up. 42. No woman having committed fornication should ever go to a man as wife. For in giving herself cheaply to one and dearly to another, she shames and insults her husband. If she loved him, how could she say, "Give much for that which I freely bestow on another"? Better for her to say, "As with him, so with you." This is hard stuff to understand, right? So no woman having committed fornication should ever go to a man as wife. That is a in of that self. It's kind of hard to understand. For in giving herself cheaply to one and dearly to another, she shames and insults her husband. I'll be honest with you. I have absolutely no idea how this is working or what this is saying. And this is very, very rare that I run into something that I don't exactly understand. And maybe if we go over it more, I could get it myself. But some of these things they're hard to get. So anyone in the comments, 42, help me out with this. What do you guys make of this particular verse? Let's continue on. Give much for that which I freely bestowed on another. Better for her to say, "As with him, so with you." I think it's about a dowry. I think this is what it's talking about. I think that it's number one. This is what we do know, and what we can say is based upon the Torah in of itself. If you guys are in a marriage and one of you commits adultery, you're never supposed to go into that other spouse. By default, according to the Torah, the marriage is dead. It's over. It's gone. If you guys go back to one another, then the one that has gone back to another becomes an adulterer. So by default, you become an adulterer for the sins of the other and going back into them under the laws of the Torah. So I don't know exactly what this is talking about. It might be a dowry. It might be something else. Maybe one of you guys can enlighten me, because I don't have an understanding. Maybe the next verse will help us. Let's hit 43. A man built a house, taking care with the decorating and its furnishings. Then going to a friend, he said, "Because of my affection for you, I will give this house to you as a gift. I know this is not usual, but I have so much affection for you that I willingly disregard the common custom of men." Later, he built another house, and taking the furnishings which were no longer new from the first house, he put them into the second. Going to another friend, he said, "I have a house, which, because of my affection for you, I will sell at the usual price with a yearly rental for the furnishings." Now, for which of these friends did he have the greatest affection? Would not the second man justly feel he had been treated badly in relation to the first? Would it not be fairer to have been treated both alike? 44. The Torah is to wear the clothes of purity, and to absorb the words of the Kodesh books is to be anointed with wisdom. Okay, I want to read that again because I don't know if I got that right, but I want to focus on that because that's hardcore. The Torah is to wear the clothes of purity, and to absorb the words of the Kodesh books is to be anointed with wisdom. Okay, so I think 43 and 42 go together. I think this is about the two wives. Again, I'm lost. I have absolutely no idea. I will give this probably for the first time I can never absolutely figure out what Messiah is talking about. And I'm going to ask him about this particular verse one day when I see him. These two verses right here. Maybe you guys can pop this in. What do you guys make of these two verses? Let's talk in this, and then I'll chat tomorrow, or whenever I do this again. It won't be tomorrow. It'll probably be next week. But let's the bottom line of what Messiah was trying to say is that the Torah is to wear the clothes of purity, and that is without a shadow of a doubt truth. We have to read the scriptures to be able to wear the clothes of purity. We can't just say we have the Torah when we don't know the Torah. The Torah is to be read daily. It's to be discussed daily. It's to be what our lives are about. We don't go against the Torah. We don't walk outside the Torah. We don't let ourselves get put into situations that are allowing us to cross the ways of our Torah and make our Creator angry with us. And so when we put on the clothes of purity, that means we're walking the Torah that we know to the very best of our ability, and then changing our walk when we don't get that far. When we do things that we know messes with our purity, we repent. We repent and we stop the madness. We do whatever it takes to stop the madness of our ways. And so again, the last part of that first part of 44, which is amazing, is to absorb the words of the Kodesh books is to be anointed with wisdom. Wisdom is a gift from our Creator. It is something that when you peel back the matrix, when you peel back this religious system, that you have hundreds of thousands of religious systems that are contrary to the actual book that they are supposed to be based upon. How does this happen? How is it that you have Catholics that are sitting there repenting to a dude in a booth? This guy's getting paid. All these crazy dudes out there that are running these masses, these satanic masses. It is insane. But yet we don't have the proper understanding. We don't have the wisdom, because when we read the Torah, we know there's no place in the Torah that we would walk into any religious system. That's walking with the world. That is doing what the world wants you to do. You can go to any Christian church in any place and anywhere, and they will have you saved. They will have you do an altar call, and you will go up there, and it is time to repent, and it is time that Jesus goes into your heart, and you're going to be saved. And they will absolutely save you. People come on this channel all the time and say that the Antichrist will never be here until the righteous people have been taken away. And I totally disagree. I truly believe we are in the days of Revelation right now. Every single day of madness that is coming out of North America, I'm mesmerized. You got this guy got this black cape and the black hat. This is MAGA on it. And MAGA is a satanic witchcraft term. You have all of the systems being broken down and the new world coming right before our eyes. And it's scary, but it's also very fascinating. And it is fascinating because we know the scriptures and we know these things have to happen. And we know the book of Revelation, that things are going to get rough and tough and tumble. And the book of Revelation clearly says a lot of people get slaughtered. It says that Hasatan, the devil, that sly old creature, that pearly, nasty, gritty, just disgusting, vile beast that is the greatest rebel of all times is coming for us. And you know what? It's chin down and hands up, right? Put your leg out there. Be ready for leg kicks. Be ready to fight. This is the times that we are in, and we don't understand these Kodesh books. You have all these hundreds of thousands of religions that have zero idea that the times that we are in. Trump put out this tweet that he took over Gaza, right? He says the U.S. is now going to take over Gaza, and he's going to put in their Trump Plaza. And there's a ginormous golden statue of Trump in this utopian world that he thinks he's going to create over there in Gaza. This is the age of the end that is being portrayed right before us. We've already run against the mixing of iron and clay. We have already been to a lot of madness right now, and it's important, right? It's very, very important. I think we're gonna leave it at this. I think it's something right here that I think we need to finish with an understanding that the Torah is for all mankind. It has always been for all mankind. It's always been for all generations. And there's just hordes of liars and hordes of unclean people that have lied to us for a very, very long time. And their job literally is to lie to us. They take 10% of every man's money and donations and everything else. And their job is to tickle the ears of people and to tell them the things they need to hear and that everybody's saved. And they'll give you the Paul doctrine, and they'll give you the Romans road to salvation, and Paul will have you completely saved. And the words they'll use is don't yield to the laws of our Creator, because that's the old ways. And everybody's like, wow, the old ways. This is the new ways. Paul said this. Paul said this. And it's like in video games, they have these things that are NPCs. And all of these people that come out of the cult of Christianity come with the same rhetoric. Paul said, and just fill in the blank. Oh, Paul said this to say. Paul said, don't judge a man on his day he worships. Okay. That's ridiculous. That's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard in your life. In fact, we are told to tell our neighbor, we're told to address their sins. Don't let them live in sin, right? We don't do that. At the expense of losing our friendship, we correct them in their wrong Torah walk. So that just goes against everything in scriptures and the entire religious zealous system. I didn't used to think that the entire religious system was satanic, and it's hard words because there's nobody out there that says stuff like this like me. And that's why we don't have a lot of people here, because I end up offending a lot of people as we go down the rabbit hole a lot of times. And it's important that the people of our Creator are informed, that we can make wise decisions, that we're not just following the sheep as they all walk off the side of the cliff and do all kinds of crazy stuff. So, all right, everyone. I hope you guys have a good day. Hope you guys have a good rest of the week. We have a Shabbat service, for those who don't know, on the main Yahoo and the Torah channel, which is, I think it's where everybody needs to congregate to the main Yahoo and the Torah channel, because I think I'm going to stop posting this stuff on the two other channels we have, because I think it's jacking up the main channel. And so I'm going to invite everybody from everywhere. Rumble, come over to the main Yahoo and the Torah channel. Everybody from Odyssey, the two of you at Odyssey. And then everybody else at the J Bossman channel. I know there's a couple of you guys out there, and also Yahoo and the Torah too. Guys, the main channel where all of this is going to be is going to be there. So I'll probably just start posting to one channel in a week or so. I just want to try to inform everyone, get them over there. So with that, much love to everybody. I hope you all have a good day. Much love to you. I'm out.